Acero. Sonny.
Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone. As Tom says, I'm from CA. I joined CA at the end of December last year, and before that I was the Managing Director at CAMCO, a climate change and sustainability specialist. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was just my experience of some of the changing trends that I've seen in sustainability reporting, drawing on our own experience at CA, but also the work that we're doing with customers like Tesco's on their sustainability reporting. And although Henning was good enough to name names of companies that are showing best practice, I was going to focus more on the processes and the issue of data quality, which Henning also mentioned, and the processes that are being put in place to improve that. Now, I don't know how much you know about CA, but CA is a Fortune 500 company. It's one of the top 5 software developers globally. We have a Chief Sustainability Officer who produces our annual report, and that's not me, so my focus is elsewhere. But we're making a big commitment in terms of bringing a new product to market called CA Eco Software, which we are using in-house to report our own performance and collect data and deal with some of these challenges that I'm going to mention here. So I wanted to talk about the challenges that we're seeing from our customers, but also as a corporate entity ourselves. And hopefully, there we go. At CAMCO, I never had any technology problems, but having joined a technology company, they seem to fox me. So there's 5 reporting challenges that we're seeing with our customers. The first is efficient data collection. A range of energy management or building management systems, lots of Excel spreadsheets, or lots of manual entry. So one thing that we were trying to crack in-house was how to get that data into a system, into a centralized database as efficiently as possible. Once that data was in the system, we wanted to analyze the performance data and quickly identify where there was waste and also where we were wasting money. So we can act quickly to distribute resources or align resources to deliver improvements across a global business. And for someone like Tesco's, who has 4,000 sites, you can imagine the challenge that involves making sure that the right sustainability initiatives are invested in. We're also seeing an increased frequency of the need for communication with a variety of stakeholders, both from within our organisation, but also externally, whether that's investors or customers or others. And there's also an increasing need to engage with the wider supply chain. Not just to get good business performance, that's important, but also to gather information from them to ensure that performance throughout the delivery of a service or a product is as best as possible. So I just want to talk about how we're responding to that. So in terms of efficient data collection, we are seeing customers spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on collecting data. And that can be quite simple data just for carbon reporting, or it can be across a much broader range of sustainability KPIs. So we're looking at a solution that accelerates the input of data. If that's from existing Excel, that's great, but also integration with existing financial or energy management systems. So you can get it together in one place, and these sources aren't fragmented, and you can quickly get a view across an operation. We're also looking at how you automate some of that process through sending out email reminders, having a quick view on how complete the data collection is, rather than trying to have to wade through thousands or hundreds of thousands of Excel spreadsheets. And also to automate some of the calculation process and to be able to cut and dice the same set of information more than once. So on the one hand, you might be reporting against the Carbon Disclosure Project. On the other hand, you might be putting an annual statement in for the CRC, or we will be next year. And the need to look at that information differently over different periods of time is becoming increasingly important. There's also a need to analyse performance at a local level, and in our case that's to do with data centres as a software company. So this shows the efficiency of different data centres. Electricity consumption is one of our largest impacts, and this shows the consumption for the IT equipment, but also the air conditioning and heating and ventilation for that facility as well. So we can quickly identify whether this site is efficient. And we can also see that globally across all of our operations, and particularly identify where there are opportunities to implement projects that have an impact on all of those sites. But there's also a need to have an executive level view of performance. And here is just an example list of different investments that a company might make in projects. And some summary information there about where those projects have got to, what the expected savings are, what the impact reduction might be, and also the alignment with the corporate objectives, and whether there's any risk associated with that project delivery. So you can quickly see whether your portfolio of sustainability initiatives is working. Linked to that, we saw a growing need, as well as the looking backwards at where historical data was coming from, and dealing with that headache of data collection and data management. Also looking at what you do with that data, so looking ahead, being able to run scenarios on what the future energy reductions might be, or what a particular set of community initiatives might be, what the cost liabilities might be. And then also to pick those projects that are the most cost effective as well as sustainable. And that's what we've done here in terms of overlying commercial project information in terms of return of investment and planned cost, with information about the sustainability performance, and also with the impact on carbon, whether it's a positive impact or a negative one. So you can quickly see where the best projects are and where the worst ones are, and invest accordingly. Now, we're seeing also a shift, obviously, from companies that want to report annually, and the need to respond to stakeholders based on that information which they may have collected once, which may be up to a year old, or spending several weeks collecting the data to answer one specific question from an investor or from a customer group, for instance. Whereas more frequent communication is required, many companies are moving to quarterly or even monthly reporting. With some systems now, you can get very frequent data down to a millisecond or a second if you need that kind of energy consumption data. But monthly serves a lot of purposes. But also the ability to see that information across different parts of the operations, whether that's different sites or different business units, just at the click of a button. And also compare that performance against targets. And that can be energy, water, waste, travel, can also be social impacts as well that the business is having. And finally, we're also seeing this need to engage with the wider supply chain. So the ability to survey that supply chain as efficiently as possible, which tends to be through Word documents or Excel surveys, rather than through an online survey system. So this is a survey that we sent out to our suppliers to look at how well aligned they were with particular sustainability criteria, which you can see there across the bottom in terms of water use, energy efficiency, transportation, and then rank them and then overlay that information with commercial information about what kind of relationship we have with them in terms of the size of the contracts and the amount of business that we're looking to do in the future. So we can quickly make decisions about how well they're supporting our business from a sustainability point of view. So I hope that's given you just a flavour of how things are changing in terms of how companies are changing their processes for efficiently reporting, both within their organisations but also externally. Thank you very much.